All right. What is up, traders? What's up, tycoons? Super excited for today's video. We got to talk about Palantir. Palantir has crushed it and has actually surpassed our bullish price targets coming into its recent earnings, right? So they have earnings this week. It's happening very soon. We got to talk about the trade setups that you guys can take advantage of. We also have to talk about some of the fundamentals and dive a little bit deeper into Palantir than just the chart. Now, the content provided on this channel is for informational and educational purposes only. It is not intended to be relied upon as legal, financial, or investment advice. So please be sure to read through the full disclaimer. We are going to use today's sponsor, Simply Wall Street, to actually dive into some of the fundamentals and dive deeper into Palantir. So stay tuned for more on that. So here we are on TradingView, guys. And as I said, Palantir has been absolutely crushing it, surpassing our bullish price targets. And if you've been watching the channel, we've been covering Palantir here with this bullish structure since, but really before its last earnings. Okay, we were breaking down the different trade setups, the different ideas, and you can see we actually completed our 5-wave structure to the upside here. So this thing could extend more off of earnings, right? And there's a gap up to fill here just below $24, right? We have a gap up to fill at $23.97, and we also have a pretty big gap down to fill down to about $8, $7.88. So we're trading in a range in between two gaps. This red box right here is what the options market is pricing in for the expected move, on Palantir, right? So when you're looking to play earnings, realistically, 15.28 on the low side and 21.11 on the upside, that is what the options market is pricing in on the move for Palantir here at the moment. Okay. Now, if you're looking for some option trade ideas, okay, I typically tend to be pretty conservative. And if you wanted to sell some call credit spreads above $24, above this gap up here, that's definitely an idea. And then you can just get an expiration, a couple weeks out and really just let the IV crush take place. Or, you could do something below the expected move here, maybe closer towards this previous level of 1372, maybe something below 14. All right. And look at those for some of the potential, areas where you can sell call credit spreads or where you can sell put credit spreads. Right. Now, if you just want to YOLO, naked call options or naked put options, that's fine. That's up to you. All right. When we look at the technicals, guys, all right, there's been so many trading opportunities for Palantir. It's just been absolutely beautiful, right? In the last video, we highlighted a very, very easy setup. Okay. So not only did we have this bull flag here, which is a bullish chart pattern, but we also had hidden bullish divergence. Now, if you've never heard of that, or if that sounds like something mysterious, all right, it's very simple. Take a look how we have lows here, and then we have higher lows here on the chart, right? So in this case, clearly price action is in an uptrend, right? We're making higher lows. But if you take a look at your RSI, we have a low here, and then we actually have a lower low here. All right, so now the RSI is clearly making lower lows. This is a very simple term known as hidden bullish divergence, and it's an indicator that you may see some type of bullish activity. Remember, your RSI is what's known as a leading indicator, right? It's not a lagging indicator. It's going to tell you what could potentially happen in the future, right? It's not telling you, that's basically how you want to use it versus something like the MACD. That's going to be a lagging indicator, and it's going to tell you what's happened after it's already happened, right? And so if you see a bullish MACD signal or a bearish MACD signal, that's based off of what has already happened in the chart versus these divergences were, a clear indicator that potentially we could see some bullish activity, right? And not only did we get a bounce, but we actually formed a bull flag here and got a nice bull flag breakout, came up, hit the price targets that we were looking for, and actually exceeded those price targets above 1873 here recently on Palantir. So super impressed with what this stock has been able to do. And, from a fundamental standpoint, this stock still has more room to go, right? We're over here on the Simply Wall Street platform. All right. This is a really, really amazing platform that I've used for a while, and I'm definitely glad to have them as a sponsor. If you look up Palantir, you can see it's still trading at 22.8% below their estimate of its fair value. So, if you guys aren't a pro at doing fundamental analysis, Simply Wall Street has their pros doing the fundamental analysis for you, and I'll show you guys what it looks like. So you can come here and you can see a quick graph of the price history and past performance. You also can stay up to date on the recent news and updates through the Simply Wall Street platform. It'll show you the price volatility. All right, so you can see the volatility versus the industry and the average market volatility. And obviously, Palantir is a very volatile stock, right? When you look at the 1-year returns for Palantir, it's up 59%. And in the past 7 days, it's up 2.2%, versus when you look at the market is only up 6.4% in the past year. So it's exceeded both the U.S. software industry and the U.S. market within the past year. So outpacing gains on both of those. Now, you can see some of the brief fundamentals right here. You can see a breakdown of their revenue, their earnings, their market cap, their price to sales ratio, their PE ratio. And then you also get a recap of their recent earnings, right? You have the EPS, gross margin, net profit margin. And if you don't know what this is, it breaks it down for you guys just simply hovering over these. They also include very beautiful graphs, nice and colorful, simply to digest and understand, especially if you're new. And one of my favorite features that they just added is the revenue and expenses breakdown. So you can actually see their revenue, where it's coming from. You can see Palantir has $1.12 billion in government revenue. That's amazing, guys. And then you see the commercial revenue here of $865.64 million. And then you can see its gross profit of $1.56 billion. Out of that, you look at the cost of sales and you can see their expenses and what they're spending money on. So I really love this new feature. It's still in the beta, so it's going to get better as it continues to roll out. You look at the valuation, all right, and you take a look at Palantir, its price to sales ratio versus its peers, due to its amazing rally that it's had recently. I mean, the stock was under $10 and it's almost $20 here now. You can see that, the price to sales ratio is a little bit elevated now, especially compared to its peers. It's trading higher than all of its peers. But when you look at the historical price to sales ratio, you can see that this thing was trading at a 37, multiple, 37 times price to sales here recently in the past, less than 2 years ago, right? This is the price to sales ratio versus the industry. Again, we talked about that being frothy a lot due to, a lot of the recent rally that we've seen. We can see it's much higher than the industry average. All right. And you take a look at the price to sales ratio versus its fair ratio. And this is the expected price to sales ratio, taking into account the company's forecast earnings growth, profit margins, and other risk factors. Again, we're seeing some of the same things here. It's looking a little bit frothy, but a lot of times, the valuations, right, and trying to go by intrinsic value and be a value investor with a lot of these, high innovation growth companies. Sometimes this is what you're going to see, right? You're going to be maybe overpaying what's necessarily the fair ratio for a stock if people expect it to have, really high growth in the future. It's not uncommon to see that. This is the share price versus its fair value. And they do this by looking at its future cash flows, and they use a discounted cash flow model. And you can see here that it's still undervalued by 22.8% using a discounted cash flow model. So really, it's trading significantly below its fair value. 22.8% is a good arbitrage value there. Now, some of the analyst price targets have this stock moving lower within the next year. So, there's lots of stuff for you to dive in on and do your own research on. When you take a look at the future growth criteria checks, it gets a 4 out of 6. So that's really, really good to see. You can see its earnings growth rate, its EPS growth rate look great, 56.2% and 55.5%. All right, so don't forget, you guys can get a 14-day free trial using Simply Wall Street by simply using the link in the description below. And if you do decide to purchase like an annual plan or a monthly or something like that, you guys can get up to 40% off using the link in that description. But that's only for the first 100 people that join. I've used Simply Wall Street for a long time personally, and I'm definitely glad to have them as a sponsor now. And I think that you guys will really enjoy the platform as well. Not only can you dive deeper into Palantir, because we only went over the valuation side of things. There's many more things on here. There's many different features in Simply Wall Street as well besides this. But I want you guys to use that free trial to go ahead and look up your favorite stocks, right? Look up a stock that you own right now that you're really confident on, or look up a stock that you want to own that you've been wondering, is it overvalued or is it undervalued? And is it a good time for me to buy? Simply Wall Street is going to be a really good platform to help you make your decisions and get some honest research and it's really a one-stop hub for most of your stock market needs. So thank you guys for watching today's video. Smash that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're interested in weekly trade ideas, I just started a brand new free newsletter, completely free. You can use the link in the description or pinned comment down below and sign up for my free newsletter. It's really great, and I'm just launched it, and the first emails are going to start going out this week.